Hello folks, welcome to Wednesday. I hope you're having a wonderful day. I hope your week is going well. If you like what I do, the subscribe button is down below and the Patreon button is also down below. If you want to be involved in the prize draw this weekend, all you need to do is be signed up to the Patreon or become a member of the channel. Either of those two things helps the channel financially and ensures you an entry into the prize draw that happens this Sunday. The main prize is £50 worth of models from Composite Games. We are also giving away a Dark Angels Deathwing box set, which is also going to be given away on Sunday as well. That will be in the form of a live stream, that prize draw, so make sure you signed up for that. And on that day as well, we will also be doing a charity live stream, as we do every single month from now on, when we do the prize draw. And that will be going towards Movember. Movember are a male mental health charity fundraiser. They don't just do things in November; they do things, throughout the year. And when it comes to November as well, I will be doing a marvelous moustache and posting that online that you're going to be able to see because it's going to look absolutely awesome. And I'm going to be doing several live streams in November this year to donate to male mental health charities, because we never leave bros behind on this channel. We may disagree. We may not always see eye to eye, talking to you, watching the video, right? But I'm always here for you, though. And I'm always here to talk. Even no matter how cynical you get, no matter how bitchy you get, I'm here to talk, right? Never going to leave. Never going to go anywhere. Anyway, let's get on with the video, shall we? Let's get on with Hobby Nightmares. Because they've got a few today. And a few of them are a bit tasty, should we say. Warboss Fit says, "Hi North, this is Warboss Fitz here again with another nightmare from my long time in this hobby, and I think this one you might really like. I'll be the judge of that. About 15 years ago, at the local shop I played at, the Magic the Gathering players and the wargamers didn't really get along. I'm not entirely sure why. I wasn't there when it started, and didn't care enough to figure it out. I've never really been into card games. I would rather spend my money on plastic crack than cardboard meth. It never appealed to me. The game store had two parts of a strip mall with card games and all the products they sell, along with the cash register on one side and war game tables on the other. There was a door between the two, so you were segregated, but the front door to the store was on the card side. So if you got there to play 40k, after the card side filled up, you'd have to walk through the gamer funk to get to the tables." Okay. Well, that is a natural way to create division and unrest, is to separate everybody. It's exactly what governments are doing these days, is trying to get us to hate each other so that we don't see what they're doing. But I see what you're doing. At the time, I was working as a maintenance supervisor for the apartments I lived at. One day, while clearing out a unit that the previous tenant had just left without telling us, I found magic cards. Like 6 huge boxes of cards that, when stacked, were nearly as tall as I was. Like I said, I've never really played Magic the Gathering, and had no intentions of trying to wrap my head around its rules. I could have just said, "Oh well," and tossed them into the garbage with the rest of the things that were there. But I knew what these were, and they had to have some kind of value to somebody. So, I decided to throw them in the back of my truck to give to the local store. The guys running it were alright guys, and I wanted to give them the cards for free so they could make $1 or $2. Fast forward to that night, I think it was a Tuesday, and I head to the store to talk with the guy behind the counter. I tell him I have some cards to give him. He raises an eyebrow, asks what I have and how much I want for them, to which I reply, "I have no idea and nothing." The look of annoyance on his face was great, as I said, "Give me a few minutes." I proceeded to make trips to my truck and back, bringing in these cubes of cards. The look of shock on this guy's face was absolutely priceless. "Well, we can't give you anything till we go through them," he said. "I don't want anything," I said. Again, shock. "What?" I said, "It was either here or the dumpster. You may as well take them." "Well, we have to give you something," he said. So I finally picked up a random number. $30 sounds about right. It's about 10 cents a pound. That's what I get for scrapping appliances anyway. I gave them my name and number, and 5 minutes later I'm heading home with a crisp $30 in my pocket, thinking I had done my good deed for the day. Fast forward again 2 days and I get a call. It's the owner of the game shop. He asks me to explain where I got the cards from, and so I do. I tell him how I came across them, and that they were just going to be in the dumpster if I had not bought them to the game shop. He said that they found someone's DCI number in the stacks, and he was a local player that said he had loaned out the cards to a friend and they were going to give him back to him. I chuckled and said he should better get funds and that he owes the shop $30. Call it a finder's fee. The store owner said sure, and we ended the call. I didn't think too much about it. That sounds pretty... That's fine for you. Like that's not your fault. You know, you're just doing your job. He owes the store $30, but I'm assuming like if he gets all of his cards back for $30, that's going to be quite a good deal for him. Even though he shouldn't have to pay to get his own property back, you know, if it's been sold on, just an unfortunate situation. You know, it's kind of his own fault for lending his stuff to a guy who was never going to give it back to him. You know what I mean? And did a runner, which is even worse. Jump ahead one more time. Saturday. I'm on the Wargames side of the store playing some 40k. There are about a dozen of us playing on that side when the card gamer who had been forced to pay to get his cards back came bursting in through the door. He yelled some sort of not safe for YouTube things at the top of his lungs, something along the lines of, "Who in the sex act gay slur, son of a female dog, who is it one of you stole my cards?" I don't know if he was trying to show off for the card players, or if he was mentally unhinged. I had told the guys in the game room earlier in the day, when I got there, what had happened, and immediately all eyes were on me. Now, something about me. I am 6'5", and at the time I weighed 315 pounds. 2 years previous, I had played college American football, been on a wrestling team, and at my day job, I threw a lot of hot water tanks over my shoulder and climbed flights of stairs daily. The guy who burst in was maybe 5'3", 100-pound pale neck neckbeard in a fedora. The look of sheer panic in his eyes is one of the memories I will cherish forever when I stood up and said, "It was me, and I don't really like your tone." I took a step towards him, and he took off running out the door and on the other side of the card room. I went to the door and took out my wallet. I dug out $30 I dug out the $30 the store owner had given me for the cards, balled it up and threw it at him across the room. I yelled at him, "Here's your money, go buy deodorant, you fucking stink." I slammed the door, walked back to the table and smiled. I think it's my shooting phase, right? Hope you liked it. Cheers, Warboss Fitz. Like, I know this isn't an everybody clapped story, you know. A lot of people... One thing I am noticing is that I do come across a lot of cynical people reading these stories out. But it's up to you. You want to be cynical, you want to be cynical. But that the details in that story tell me that was probably true. So I can imagine that happening. You know, it's not your fault at the end of the day, and you should have just said, "Listen, mate, I didn't steal them. Right? Your friend bailed, and you know I was made to take them. They were going to end up in the dumpster, or here, I gave them to the store, they gave me $30 for them, here's your $30 back, now fuck off and leave me alone." That would have been fine, you know? But hey, at least the guy got what was coming to him, a little bit. Right, Fart Zuckerberg. These names are getting worse and worse. Fart Zuckerberg says, "Greetings, Master North, Lord of the Exiled. I am a long-time listener and frequent contributor to your selection of hobby stories, but today I am writing anonymously from a throwaway email account due to the personal and adult nature of my stories. I promise my stories will be safe for YouTube and hopefully will entertain you and your audience." Okay. "One fine evening, as I lay in bed, I was taken by the urge to peruse some adult entertainment on my phone. As is my wont to do. Yep, fine. No problem. I went to my usual website, but not wanting to disturb my partner... You dirty dog. You dirty, dirty dog. Poor woman's lying next to you there, ready to go, and you're on your phone. Oh, dear. We've all done it. We've all done it. Because, you know, sometimes she's closed for maintenance. You know, if you take my meaning. Or she's just ill or tired and you don't want to disturb her. I had a mate once, right, who was caught in his bathroom by his missus, right? Attending to himself. And she said, oh my, she was devastated. She was like, you know, I'm right here, why don't you just, you know. And he said, listen, as a man, sometimes I don't want to make love, sometimes I just want to bang one out. And if I did that to you, you would be appalled and you'd feel used. There's nothing romantic about what I'm doing right now, right? And she understood, and he got away with it. Not got away with it, he was being honest with her. But if you ever caught in a situation like that, that's what you say. You say, look, you know, I'm literally pumping one out in here. You wouldn't want me doing this on top of you. That would be the most, you know, horrid thing you can do. You know, there's no effort in it. I just want to get this out of my system and get on with my day. That's it, right? I've got shit to do. If I'm with you, I want to put the effort in and take the time to make sure that you're pleased. I wouldn't do that in this mood. No problem. And we move on, sort of a thing. She'll still find a way to be emotional about it, but at least, you know, you've out-logicked her emotion. You know what I mean? She's emotional, you've out-logicked her. You've given her a logical explanation. She can now take that or leave it, and you walk away. Anyway, I scrolled past dozens of photo galleries of various acts, not particularly interested by the thumbnails. After scrolling through a few pages, I saw a woman who stood out. This photo gallery was clearly amateur, which appealed to me. My God, this guy's a connoisseur. This guy's like a wine taster. He's like, yes, the vintage is very, yes. This photo gallery was clearly amateur. Dude, is there any hobby in here? This photo gallery was clearly amateur, which appealed to me, as did the woman's face and hair, which was all I could see in the thumbnail. The gallery was titled Gamer Girl Sarah, name changed. Okay, so there's some hobby in here. And I internally rolled my eyes, expecting the tired old trope of a girl wearing a headset and holding a console controller while engaged in fornication. Yeah, and the controller's never plugged in, or a wireless controller. I clicked on the gallery anyway, and the first couple of photos were of a young woman posing in front of a blank wall in steadily decreasing amounts of clothing. Okay. The next photo was a close-up of her face and chest as she leaned over the edge of a table. The photo after that was zoomed out a bit, and just on the edge of the frame, some gothic terrain. And in the next photo, a Rhino STC tank. And then finally, in the next photo, spread out in glorious fashion, a full 6x4 table, mid-battle with 3 titans. Oh, and a naked woman in the background. At that point, I just clicked through photo after photo, zooming in to examine the excellent paint jobs and admire the ongoing battle. All well. Most thoughts of the naked woman were lost. Do you know what? That's something I would do as well, to be fair. That is something I would also do. Like, is that a Titan? Like, you just zoom in on it. My second story starts in a similar fashion. Dude, you're all about the porn websites, aren't you? Though I had chosen to scroll through videos on this occasion, I was in the mood for something different. So I scrolled through some of the more unconventional sections of the website. Oh no. Oh no. This is a guy who is desensitized to intimacy, right? I would recommend, guys, I would recommend the only porn you should be using that's healthy, right, are pictures you've been given from girlfriends. I'm saying that now. Pictures and videos you've been given from girlfriends. Because you've earned that, right? And you're literally doing something over somebody that you're already with, or you've recently been with. Sort of a thing. Because I will say this, sorting yourself out once in a while is fine, that's okay. Doing it every day to porn is not healthy. It's not healthy at all. It destroys your sex drive. It destroys your the wonder of getting laid, right? It just destroys it. So when you finally get it, you're like, this isn't as good as I can just sort myself out doing this, right? It takes the wonder out of it. Don't make yourself, you know, a sexless, vapid, grey person. Inject colour into your life. Take the angst that comes with a heavy, full pair of balls and go out there into the real world and talk to real women. That's what you do. And if you need to, once a week, yeah, jerk it off, get it out your system and move on. Once a week. But not every day, my guys. Not every day, and don't look at porn every day. It's bad for you. It's really, really, really bad for you as a dude. They want you docile, and they want you satisfied and docile, so you can't rise up, you can't be your own man, you can't... Because I'm telling you now, if a man has ambition and drive, he's hard to control. He's really hard to control. If you don't like the fact that, you know, women are in the ascendancy in most places, if you don't like that fact, if you're annoyed by the fact that you seem to be at a disadvantage all the time, stop watching porn. Because porn's the fucking tool they use to keep you fucking docile. To keep you there, sated. It's like you're in the Matrix, right? Don't watch it. If you're going to watch something, get pictures of your ex-girlfriends that you've kept or whatever. You know, things like that you've actually earned in your life. We've all got a wank bank. I've got a wank bank. We've all got one. We've all got that folder of pictures over the years. Of just memories, right? Of just like, I remember dating this person, I remember dating that person, I remember, you know, you've all got that sort of stuff going on, right? You keep it in a locked folder, nobody can get to it. That's what you use. If you have to. Only if you have to. But don't watch porn every day, it's not good for you. Okay? Especially if you're a chap like this, who's now becoming a connoisseur, and his porn's getting more and more extreme as he goes on, because nothing's really sating him anymore. Dude, that's the time to step away. Step away. Right? Absolutely step away. Have a few days off. Alright? I'm being honest with you. You enjoy it a lot more if you've had a few days off. If you save it up for a bit. If I'm seeing... Like, say if my girl lives, like, quite far away from me, I will save it up for 3 or 4 days before I go. It's just much better. You're literally... I remember she'll know, because she'll be listening to this, or maybe she'll be listening to this. I remember going to see a girl once, and I had kept it to myself. I had not done anything to myself for a few days. And I'm sitting on the train, not going up there, and I swear to God, I'm getting looks from people on the train, women on the train, that I would never normally get. Like, what is going on? So I went on my phone, and I just started searching for different things. Like, what is going on there? Why am I all of a sudden noticing what's going on? That this is happening to me. Turns out, right, without me going into too much detail, because I haven't been attending to myself, right, my body's in overdrive. My body wants to get laid as much as my mind does. Your mind always wants to get laid. Your body doesn't know the difference between you wanking and getting laid. Your body's silly. Your body's stupid. This is why I say, do not watch porn. Because if you attend to yourself, your body thinks it's mating. Your body thinks it's getting laid. And so your body makes less testosterone. Your body makes less hormones that go into the air to make women look at you in a sexual fashion. A couple of days, that's all it took. And I'm sitting there. I must have been giving off a vibe. I would think I was giving off a vibe. Apparently not. Apparently it's hormones. Apparently your body's just giving off hormones that women subconsciously go, ooh, that's nice. Literally because you just haven't touched yourself in days. And I'm sitting there literally almost rubbing my own thighs going, I can't wait to get off this train, right? Because I'm just ready to go. And people get that, they see that. And you're ready to go, right? If you can harness that and not look desperate when you go out, you'll be killing it. Right? Whenever I'm single and I'm going out, and if I want to meet somebody, I abstain for 3 or 4 days, and then I mentally I meditate the day I'm going out. I mentally get myself ready to go out. I calm myself down. I tell myself I'm there to have a good time with my friends, and I go out and have a good time with my friends. 9 times out of 10, you're not fighting them off, but you are attracting a lot more interest than you would be normally, right? So porn addiction's bad. this is a big sign. But when your porn preferences start getting more and more esoteric, you know, that's when you need to watch it, right? Okay. So, as I was scrolling, suddenly a particular thumbnail jumped out at me. The individual depicted in the thumbnail was very attractive, and I knew I wanted to see more. I clicked on the video and watched it from the beginning to end. So enamoured was I with this person, I checked out their profile, which linked me to half a dozen other videos that they had posted, and I watched every single one. I did a Google search to see if I could find any more adult content by this person, and it appears that this person does in fact create regular adult content, and it's behind a paywall, and that's where I draw the line. A few days later, I was scrolling through the recommended videos on YouTube, as you do, when I saw a familiar face in a thumbnail for a video very much related to our hobby. I know who this is. Right? And no, I don't know who this is because I've looked for her stuff. I know who this is because I'm subscribed to her on YouTube, right? And it's in the comment section of a few of her videos. I'm like, really? Did she do that? Right? Quick Google search, yes she does. Right? That's what she does. And all power to her if that's what you want to do. Not my type, but I know who this is. Okay? So, there was no denying it, it was the same person. I was shocked, then excited. An adult content creator that is also into the hobby. Dude, that is not as weird as you think it is. Right? Hobby girls get down. Like, I swear to you. Like, hobby girls are nerds, and a lot of them are tomboys. And being tomboy normally means, you know, male type sex drive. Seems too amazing to be true. But then I started to wonder what to do about this exciting bit of news. What do you mean, what do you do with it? You just file it away. If you like her, you file it away for future reference. I couldn't tell my friends. I thought about emailing the person and saying, hey, I've seen your video. Don't do that. Don't email her saying, hey, I've seen your videos. And I've seen your other videos, and I think they're both fantastic. Don't do that. Don't do that. That's creepy. Don't do that, man. No. As far as I'm aware, she's got a husband as well, so you're not on. It's not going to work. Remember, if she's not taking photographs herself, there's some lucky bastard who's taking the photographs. And it ain't you. So I felt like that might be embarrassing for both of us, though. So I didn't do that either. Good lad. And so, I've kept this dark secret to myself for well over a year, until sharing it with you. And now that I've typed all this out, I can't really say I feel any sort of catharsis for letting go of the secret, but say la vie. Love you long time, and I'll see you tomorrow when you read off some more Hobby Nightmares. Okay, that's not a secret, dude. Right? And she doesn't make it a secret either. She literally, you know, it's all out there. You can go and search for her. I'm not going to say a name. You can go and search for her. It's all out there. Right? Even looking at her YouTube channel, you can tell this is a woman who wears tight clothes and likes to reveal parts of her body when she's talking about the hobby. And no, it's not sword and steel. She's a sweetheart. Leave her alone. Right? That's the most innocent person I think I've ever seen on the fucking... It's not her. Right? But I know who this is. And, yeah. Yeah. All power to you if that's what you do. But don't email these people and simp for them. If you want to pay them, fine. Do what you want to do. Everyone's going to make some money. But please, you know... Dude, I think you've got an issue here. I think you've got a bit of an issue. And I don't blame you for being anonymous either. I think you need to have a little word with yourself. I think you need to sit yourself down and abstain from porn for a little while. Go to the gym. All that pumped up energy you have. Do you know what will happen? If you stop jerking yourself into an early grave for a few days, your body starts to make testosterone, right? And endorphins. For any physical activity you do, your body will make endorphins and testosterone. Because your body thinks, oh, this guy's working out to get mates, to get women, to get laid. And so it helps you out. Right? Wanking yourself into an early grave lowers your testosterone levels. Proven fact, go and look it up. Lowers your testosterone level. Brings things down, keeps you docile, makes you podgy, makes you fat. Right? Puts you in bad habits. And it means when you actually do get a woman, most of the time, you can't perform. Because you've seen some depraved shit, and that's all you get off on anymore. So what's this woman going to do in front of you? No, abstain, mate. Right? Walk away from porn. Abstain. And only get yourself off on things you've earned. So if you've earned that pic from a girl that you were once with, use that, right? If you're with a woman right now and she sends you stuff, use that. That's what it's there for. They'll be happy that you're using it. You'll be like, oh, my man just can't get enough of me. Yeah, you're damn right I can't get enough of you, right? They love that shit. Here's the thing, though. And lads, always do this. It's best practice. Always do this. If you split up with a woman, okay, and you have pictures of her on one of your devices that she sent you, ask her honestly if she wants you to get rid of them. And if she says yes, delete them. Being honest. I'm being honest here. You may look at that cynically. I'm being honest. That's what you do. If she wants you to, delete them. But I'm telling you now, most of them will say, no, you keep them. Nice memories. And so you do, right? And then when you're with somebody else, you don't look at them again, because that's showing a bit of unfaithfulness, right? You don't do that again. But when you're single, use away, right? Cool. Blood Raven says, "Dear Miss Southern Exile, I'm sorry. I'm gonna stop you there because Southern Exile is somebody who is actually on my Discord. So, yeah, doesn't count." Blood Raven 93 here again. Hope you're doing well, and hope your granddad is on the mend. He is, yeah, he's doing very well. Alright. Unlike previous hobby nightmares, this one is to do with a different hobby. Yu-Gi-Oh! About 5 years ago, I briefly got back into Yu-Gi-Oh! After a 10-year hiatus from the card game. A friend I had initially met via Warhammer suggested I get back into Yu-Gi-Oh! And attend the local Yu-Gi-Oh! Gaming night. We'll call this friend Brian. Brian and I walked into the venue together, and he introduced me to the two guys who were turned up. I think they were both about in their early 20s. While they don't play any role in the events that unfold, the absolute spunk face they pulled while looking at me was enough to make me realise then and there that I had wandered into the wrong mental institution. I can only describe their lifeless, soulless stare as the face of an autistic trout that has just been caught jacking off in a B&Q store. So B&Q, for you Americans out there, is like a home hardware store. Anyway. I sat down and had a couple of games with Brian. All the while, I could feel the trouts still staring at me. I ignored them for the most part. At the end of the game, one of them was still staring at me with that trout wank face, so I turned to the one staring at me and said, do you fancy a game, mate? He responded by just slowly shaking his head while grinning. Ooh. Ew. This is some Inception bullshit. Anyway, a larger group of players soon arrived, and these three gents are tonight's main attraction. We'll call them Mike, Kyle, and George. Mike was about mid-30s and wearing a t-shirt, and must have been about 2 sizes too small, since you could see his gut poking out from underneath. He wasn't a massive guy by any means, but definitely had enough pudge to make it look like he was wearing a crop top. Oh, Jesus. Kyle was about in his early 40s, and stank like an absolute bastard. I can't remember much about what he looked like. His body odour was so strong it now lives rent-free in my head. Finally, we come to George. He was about in his late 30s and, well, we'll get on to him a bit later on. I didn't have a game with any of those three at first, as I was waiting for Brian to finish up so we could have a rematch. As I'm waiting, I'm just sorting through my cards, looking for potential new combos to try, when Mike comes out of nowhere, snatches my deck from my hand and starts sifting through my cards, taking cards out of my deck and throwing them on the table and saying, banned, banned, no point having that, You don't want that. Banned, banned, useless, etc. And after the initial shock, I snatched back my deck and told him he should ask next time before picking up somebody's property. Mike snickered and said, alright bro, who pissed in your cereal? Half those cards aren't tournament legal anyway. I responded by saying, oh, I didn't realise we were doing a mini tournament, I thought these were just casual games. Mike snickered again and just said, no, these are casual, but I don't like non-tournament legal cards, so you can't play them. Fucking hell. This guy's almost over the top bad. This is ridiculous. I asked, so, you run and organise the club then? No, Mike responded. I really wanted to ask him what the fuck his problem was then, but I held my tongue, so just rolled my eyes and shook my head, and went on with what I was doing. None of the cards I had that weren't tournament legal were overpowered. They just did basic things like let me draw extra cards, or reshuffle my deck. Plus, I always made sure my opponent was okay with me using them. I just go by the motto that if my opponent is cool with it, then it's none of your fucking business. After that interesting encounter, I overhear Kyle having a game with Mike. All the while, Mike is having a hissy fit every time something doesn't go his way. At the end, I assumed Mike lost, since I heard him shout, "Fuck, this game is stupid." He then proceeded to throw his cards across the room and stormed off. After overhearing the rage quit, Kyle comes up to me and asks me for a game. I initially said yes, as I thought he would just be a smelly dude, as apart from the smell, he'd been pretty chill. Though I did say we should play long ways on a 6x4 table, under the excuse that we'd be less likely to be able to see each other's cards. He accepted and we played our game. Smart move. Smart move. That all went pretty well, and it seemed like the day was starting to pick up again. I lost the game in the end to Kyle. While I'm happy to admit he was a good player, he proved me wrong in thinking he was alright, and turned out to be more disgusting than initially thought, as when I went to shake his hand, he put his hand on my shoulder and proceeded to burp in my face. Dude, if that happens... dude, no. 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 He's getting a slap. He's getting a slap. If you touch me, or get involved in my personal space in a disrespectful way, you're getting a slap. Like a solid slap to the face, like a little bitch. That's what you're getting. Right, if you touch me, or you aggressively get into my space, my area, like right nose to nose, you're getting a slap. Alright, maybe a couple. Because I'm telling you now, most nerds who do this have never been told the word no. And have never faced repercussions for physical actions that they do to other people. Until they come up against an actual normal dude who doesn't take shit like that, then they get an absolute slapping, like a little bitch. They don't get hit, they don't get punched, because they can't take it, they get slapped. Get slapped around. No, I'm going to slap you around now. Because you did that to me, and now I'm doing this to you. You do not do that to people. You do not get involved in their personal space and touch them physically. If you do that, you're going to get it back tenfold, okay? This is the consequence of doing this in the real world. If you did that to somebody on the street, they'd beat the shit out of you. I'm just going to slap you up a little bit. I'm sorry if you think that's a bit extreme, but I do take exception to shit like this. And it doesn't happen. Because if you give off that aura of, do not fuck with me in that way, please. Right? Do not do that. Or you will get it back tenfold. If you just give off that aura, it never happens. And as soon as it does happen to you, it's like being in prison, dude. I'm being honest. Like, it's fucking... As soon as somebody does that to you, if you let that go, you're a little bitch. And other people are going to see you as a little bitch, and you're now a prime target for bullying in that sphere. Don't accept it. The minute somebody puts their arm on your shoulder, leans right into your face, and then burps in it, so you can feel the air hitting your face, slap the shit out of him. And slap him once, and when he recoils, goes down, take him by the collar and keep slapping. Not hard, just little, like, fuck you. Don't do that again. Don't do that again, or I will beat the shit out of you. Right? That's it. That's all you need to do. Don't beat people up Don't go mad, but give him several shocking slaps. But no, fuck you. Don't come into my personal space. Don't touch me. And don't do disgusting shit like that on me. Do not do that. Right? That goes for everybody else in here as well. Don't fucking touch me. There's no excuse for that. Boundaries are there for a reason. Just be polite. Don't touch me. And don't burp in my fucking face. Right? A lot of you will be like, well, that's no excuse. Why are you being physical with people? Dude, there's only one thing people like this understand, and you're not permanently hurting them. You're not going in there. You're not going in there swinging. You're not putting them in the hospital. You're shocking them. Slap, 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 slap. Don't do that again. Right? You act like a little bitch. I'll treat you like a little bitch. Don't do that again. Right? These are nerds. They're not going to fight back to shit like this. You may say, oh, what if he's bigger than you? Dude, if he's a nerd, no. If he's a nerd, he's just never been told no. And he thinks it's appropriate. The minute he gets backlash, he goes, whoa, not crossing that line again. Fuck that shit, right? And if he's traumatized by this experience, fucking good. Remember, and don't do it again, right? Don't do it again. There are very few things in this world that will generate this kind of reaction from me. Very few things. But hitting me, right? Touching me inappropriately when I'm just trying to play a game, or doing this, like putting your arm on me and then pulling me in and burping in my face, yeah, that gets several slaps. Several bitch slaps. That's what that gets. Right? And then if it escalates, it escalates after that. Fine. You know, we did tit for tat. You invaded my personal space. I slapped you up like a bitch. If you then want to take it further, fine. We'll take it further. But I'm not standing here and letting you do that to me. Go fuck yourself. The more people react that way in the hobby, the less bullshit dickheads like this we will have in the hobby. Because they're not all autistic. They don't all have mental issues, I'm telling you now. There are some just knobheads in this hobby. See you next Tuesdays. There are just people in this hobby who have never been told no. Literally. Who've never been told, no, fuck off, that's not acceptable. And telling them, they'll be like, oh, well, you know, fucking calm down, man. No, don't say anything, just slap them. Just slap them, dude. That's all you do. Okay? So, dude, I honestly thought I was going to throw up. I asked him, what the fuck? But he just laughed and walked off. Yeah, because you didn't stand up for yourself. You didn't stand up for yourself. That's it. That's it. You are now prime target number 1 for bullshit in that store, man. Hope you know what's coming to you. After coming back from the shop to buy as much mint gum as possible to get the taste out of my mouth, one of my mates, we'll call Sam, walked in with his sister, who we'll call Ellie. I didn't realise Sam played, so it boosted my mood a bit to see another friendly face. Sam was about 27 and Ellie was about 15. I don't like where this is going. To cut the friends' greeting short, myself and Sam sat down to do a tag team match. Me and Sam versus Brian and Ellie. Okay. At first, the tag team was going pretty well. Then about halfway through, George sat on the other side of the table facing Ellie and Brian. Ellie was finishing her snacks at the time, to Sam's irritation, since she was using some of his cards and was eating pretty sticky food. Yeah, that pissed me off as well. George then leaned in over Sam's shoulder, winked and said to Ellie, "Ah, you know I love watching you suck that lollipop. You're really good at sucking, I see. Haha." Yeah, another slap. You just earned yourself another slap. That's another slap. Girls 15. Girls 15, you, my friend, are getting another slap. Just slap some sense into them. These dudes do not seem like they have anything wrong with them at all. Like from the story you're saying. These are normal dudes who've never been told no. These are nerd schoolyard bullies. They've never been told no. Right? I think I spent a good minute staring, trying to process what the fuck I just heard, with a dumbfounded look on my face. George continues by saying to Ellie, Oh, that food must have been messy. It's all over your fingers. Want me to suck them clean? Dude, what is this girl's brother doing? What is he doing? This guy should be through the window by now. Your sister's 15. This guy should be in hospital by now. Both me and Sam had a go at him for trying to talk dirty to Ellie. Sam jumped off his seat and rightfully, thank you, and rightfully punched George in the face and said, I don't give a shit if I'm not welcome here anymore. You talk to my sister like that again and I'll break your fucking jaw. Thank you. Thank you. Some things are beyond the hobby, right? You invade my personal space, I can take it. I'll just give you a little bitch slap. But you talk to my sister who is 15 in that way, I'm fucking breaking your world in half. Right? No excuse. The ram has touched the fucking wall. No mercy. I should mention that Sam and Ellie are Scottish, so the accent made it sound 100 times more intimidating than I can manage here. George packed up his stuff and ran off. Of course he did. All the while, Ellie was an absolute legend by trying to roast him, saying, okay, yeah, I'm not going to read that bit out. While pointing at him. Basically calling him a kiddie fiddler. While pointing at him. Safe to say, I never went back to that gaming group ever again. Since last I heard, George still goes to the club. Ellie and Sam were obviously shaken up by the encounter, so me and Brian packed up early and bought them a McDonald's meal each and called it a night. I haven't heard much from Sam or Brian, but last I heard, Ellie was planning to join the police force. All the best, Mr. Northy McNorth. Cheers. Okay, that was frustrating and cool. A cool ending. Listen, I don't anyone who watches my stuff knows I don't advocate for physical harm unless somebody really crosses a line. Because there's a certain people only understand a certain language, right? And these guys like that, the only thing that got this guy away from you was being physical and saying, get the fuck out of my face. Right? Because they don't understand. They've never been told no before. Their mothers have not brought them up right. They've never ever been told no before. And I bet you, these guys haven't had dads. Because any good dad will see that behaviour and be like, not on my watch, son. Not on my watch. Right? Literally. All your mother should have to say is, I'll tell your dad. And you buck your ideas right up. You go, oh, right? Not because he'll beat the shit out of you, but because he's intimidating, right? He's your hero. You don't want to upset your hero, right? He's strong, he's vibrant, he's your hero. And yeah, he could beat the shit out of you, but he doesn't. He's the fucking alpha. He doesn't have to. He just looks at you and gets you to stop doing what you're doing. Right? These lads have not had that in their lives. If they did, they wouldn't be acting this way. Sometimes you have to be that dad and put a bit of physical discipline in their lives for 5 minutes. Because this is ridiculous, I'm sorry. Anyway. Lucy Lawfall's back, ladies and gents. She was here a few weeks ago, I think. Lucy Lawfall. Hey North. I'm back again and just wanted to touch base with a bit of an advice request. Yes, it's a dating thing, so yes, not that serious, but I figured it would be good for you to give some advice to women in this case, as it might help and it'll make a nice change. Okay. If you don't like relationship stuff, feel free to click off the video. You're done. So don't moan at me in the comments. No, I don't like relationship stuff. Oh, I don't like it. Because, the world doesn't acquiesce to who you are and your wishes, alright? So, if you don't like it, click off the video, off you go. The last bit of this video is going to be on relationships, and we'll see just what the hell is going on. So, just to lay out the scene, okay? I am considered by a lot of guys around me to be quite attractive. I'm 5'8", flat tummy, I've got a worked out ass, good hips, and a perky chest. 32 double Ds. Dude, Jesus Christ. You're certainly not, what's the word, lacking confidence, are you? I have what you would call the atypical suburban smile. Dimples, curly black hair, that's kind of my look. I'm Latina, if you haven't already figured that out. Yeah, I was kind of leaning there. I'm also really into the hobby. I do collect Warhammer, and I've done so for quite a while. I'm moving into Iron Warriors, as I just love the grit of the dudes. But my god, basilisks are expensive here, let me tell you. Yeah, basilisks are a joke. Because they are the easiest thing to get for your Iron Warriors army. I would use them in Horus Heresy, in all honesty, and things like that, because they're just really cool. I know a guy who proxies them for different Horus Heresy tanks. Because they just look better, you know. And I agree. Big siege engines, big siege artillery. Love it. The reason I've said all this isn't because I'm some arrogant bitch. The reason is, I can't seem to find a guy. Like, at all. I've tried everything. But every time I head to the friendly local game store and see somebody I like and start talking to them, they act terrified and walk away. The guys who are into me are the ones I'm not into. As in, fuckboys, essentially, who are hanging around the hobby looking for pussy. Not my deal at all. I also have a job that nets me quite a lot of money. In bracket, it's respectable, not OnlyFans or anything like that before you go there. I wasn't going to go there. Right? And a lot of dudes seem put off by that. What gives there? I seem to have all the advantages here and hold all of the cards. So when decent men act like I have some sort of disease, it makes me think there is something wrong with me. What is going on? Thanks, Luce. Okay. So, this is a lot shorter than your last email. Here's the thing. Your target audience is nerds, right? That's your target audience. Nerds, for the most part, are not used to women of a certain caliber approaching them in a hobby store. They probably think that you're there for an ulterior motive. The best way for you to what you're doing here, Lucy, right? What you're doing here is that you're expecting, because you're good looking, the world to acquiesce to what you want it to do. You're going over to guys and saying, "Hey, how are you?" Right? And expecting them to just jump over through hoops to come and get you, right? To come and be with you, or to flirt with you back. Some of those dudes are just there to play the hobby, right? So if you want to get a guy in the hobby, the best way to do that is to act like you're a dude. Imagine you're a dude and all of the people there are women. How successful would a dude be if he just walked up to every single woman in a place where they don't want to be approached and asked them for a date? Yeah, he wouldn't do very well. I'm going to tell you now, a lot of the dudes in there are not looking to date. They're looking to throw some dice. The best way for you to get a man is to forget that you're there to get a man. Walk up to dudes and ask them for a game of 40k. That's it. And have fun playing 40k. Hey, that was fun. You know? That was really fun. And then leave it. Don't talk to them again. Well, talk to them for the rest of the time there, but don't ask for another game, don't ask for a date, don't do anything like that. Come back the next time. Hey, you want another game? Cool, yeah, sure. You play another game. Eventually, the guy that you like will get more and more and more comfortable with you. He'll start telling jokes with you, and eventually, I'm telling you now, a nerd will fall head over heels for you. If you're into his hobby, and you're a cool person, and he's having fun with you, and you're attractive and good to look at, that dude eventually will reciprocate your interest. All you need to do is realise this is a fragile dude, this is a dude who's not used to you, to your attentions, right? It's like a skittish horse. You don't just try and climb on a skittish horse. It's going to buck you off. You approach the horse slowly. You pat it down. You whisper sweet nothings to it. You give it a sugar cube or two, and then you pat it, and then you climb on nice and gently, and off you go, right? That's exactly the way you approach dudes in the hobby if you're an attractive woman. You make sure that you're playing games with them first, that you're engaging with the hobby first and foremost. You're having fun in the hobby. Then you do other things. You don't just go straight for the, hey, nice to meet you. You don't go straight for that. Because most dudes will think you've got an ulterior motive. Even I would, right? Even I would be like, yeah, nice to meet you too. Do you mind if I just play my game here? Like, you know. Here's the thing. And this is what women don't seem to get. Men don't really cheat. And men aren't really, shall I say, huge shaggers, right? Don't get me wrong. If we've got an option to, we will end up, having sex with somebody. Yeah, no problem, right? It's a lot easier for women to pull than men. I get that if you're in a going out setting. The thing is, the reason why I say dudes generally don't cheat is that, ladies, the guys that you're seeing who cheat are the guys who cheat. That's it. Right? So what you're seeing, what I'm saying is, because if you see guys cheating, you're seeing 5% of the male population, let's say, that cheat. That's what you're seeing. They're out there, they're being presumptuous about it, they're cheating. They're doing their bit, they're cheating. You're seeing that, you're going, well, all men cheat. No, because there's 95% of men who don't cheat. How do I know this? Go on Tinder. A woman gets swipe after swipe after swipe and match after match after match. A woman will swipe right about 5% of the time, right? A man will swipe right about 80 to 90% of the time, just looking for options. That's what he's doing, right? And he gets a match about 2 to 3% of the time. So, the guys who get matched with, some of them will cheat, yes, but they're the guys who have options. The other 95% of men who are on Tinder won't cheat because they don't have the option. They're never given the option. And by the way, if you can get them quick, and you can get in there and you can settle down with them, they won't want to cheat either way. Because they'll be like, I'm not giving this up. This woman's gorgeous and she does everything that, we're into everything together. There's no way I'm sabotaging that, and he won't cheat. Men don't cheat, right? Fuck boys cheat, men don't. And fuck boys are a very, 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 very low percentage of people who are men. Look, no matter what you might think of me, okay, or what, I'm sure you've got a picture in your head of what I look like, and if you're on Discord, you know what I look like, right? I wouldn't consider myself in the upper echelons of what men look like at all, right? I'm not up there. So somebody like me who's quite confident, quite outgoing, and, been around the block in more ways than one in that way, I am not in that 5% of the dudes who cheat. Why? Because I don't have that many options. Now, look at somebody like me, who's quite well adjusted, doing quite well for himself. I've been out with lots of women in the past. It's not like they don't find me attractive, right? But I still wouldn't consider myself in that 5%. Because those 5% of dudes are good looking, have charm, can talk a tortoise out of its shell, right? Those are the dudes who are cheating. Us 95%ers, even the good looking ones who are good for you, who have good jobs and all that, we don't cheat because we don't have those options. And even if we do, normally we've met a good woman who makes us not want to cheat, even if we get the option. Men in general don't cheat, which is why I'm saying, look, you may go into this scenario in your gamer group where guys aren't interested in you, thinking, well, are these guys just gay or what's going on? No, they're not. They're not. They are literally there to throw some dice. They're not incels, right? They're not people who don't want to get laid or who can't get laid. These are guys who just don't want a woman infecting their space right now. You have to remember, Lucy, you're welcome here, more than welcome here, but a lot of the dudes in your friendly local game store are there to get away from women and have fun with their bros. And then you come in with your 32 double D perky Latina tits and, hey, how are you? And they're going, oh, fuck this. I am not in the mood for this right now. And a lot of them won't even be dressed for it. A lot of them will be dressed in, like, their scruff clothes, They're not ready to be confronted with a woman who looks like you. You have to play it on their level. Approach them like a skittish horse. Put the effort in. Play the game first. Have fun in the hobby first. And then, when you get a rapport with a guy, you play a few games with him, you throw in a few flirty comments, and I'm telling you now, if he's single, he will reciprocate those vibes. If you're attractive, and you're flirty, and you're intelligent, and you're playing the game, and he loves spending time with you and playing the game with you, he will be head over heels for you by your third game in. He will ask you out, Lucy. I'm telling you. he will ask you for your number. And the good guy, not the Chad, not the Chad, not the fuckboy that you don't like. I mean the actual guys you like. They will ask you for your number. If you put the effort into the hobby first, and you act in a respectful, cool manner, and you keep putting the time in with them to play games with them, and don't put any pressure on it, but throw a bit of interest their way during the game, dude, that guy is going to fall in love with you in 2 or 3 games, right? And he's going to be like, hey, do you want to get a coffee? Right? And away you go. The problem that you're doing is you're treating the hobby as your own dating sphere because you're entitled. You're an entitled woman who's very attractive, and you think the entire world needs to acquiesce to your hotness. It doesn't. It doesn't. Right? They are there to get away from women like you. So if you want to be there, you got to play by their rules. All right? All right. Love you a long time. Best of luck, Lucy. Hope you find a man. And hope you all have a very wonderful rest of your day. I will speak to you tomorrow for another rant where we're going to be discussing why one-page rules beat their shit out of 40k, because they do. See you tomorrow. Have a good time. Have a good one. Love you a long time. Bye.